Good morning, everyone. Bienvenue à tous. C'est vraiment un plaisir d'être ici à la berceau de Confédération. It's an absolute privilege to be here in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, the cradle of Confederation. And we're so honored to be joined by several of my Atlantic Caucus colleagues who are here today. And we've been having meetings here in Charlottetown over the last few days. And we're especially honored to be joined by the Honorable Pierre Poilievre, our leader, who has been here having discussions with many stakeholders across the region and visiting businesses and hearing the concerns from Atlantic Canadians. And one of the things we so appreciate is when leaders take the time to listen and have the time to hear our perspectives and hear where we're coming from. And to our leader's credit, he's been spending time hearing the concerns of Atlantic Canadians, being in our region, bringing thoughtful deliberations, and taking time to engage with us. So without further ado, it gives me an absolute honor and a privilege to introduce the Leader of His Majesty's Loyal Opposition and the Leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, the Honourable Pierre Poilievre.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup, Richard. Quel plaisir d'être ici dans les Maritimes pour profiter de l'hospitalité légendaire des gens ici. J'ai parlé avec des propriétaires de petites entreprises, des travailleurs et d'autres Canadiens extraordinaires. Partout où je suis allé, ils m'ont rappelé de notre mission très simple, c'est de rétablir la promesse de notre pays que chacun qui travaille fort va être récompensé avec un grand chèque de paie, avec des taxes et des impôts très bas, avec de logements et de l'épicerie abordable dans des communautés sécuritaires. Les conservateurs se battent pour un plus grand pouvoir d'achat dans des rues sécuritaires, des frontières solides et un Canada autonome. Ce combat est plus important que jamais. Après 11 ans des libéraux, ils ont doublé le coût du logement, doublé les files d'attente aux banques alimentaires, doublé notre dette nationale et les gens de l'île n'ont plus les moyens pour payer leurs factures. Mark Carney a promis qu'il allait renverser tout ce qu'il avait dit et tout ce que son parti avait fait pendant une décennie. Mais c'était qu'une illusion. Après 1 an et demi de Mark Carney, c'est plus de coups, plus de crimes, plus de corruption. Il a doublé le déficit laissé par Justin Trudeau, remplacé l'ancienne taxe de carbone avec une nouvelle, plongé le Canada dans la seule récession du G7, la pire inflation alimentaire du G7, le pire endettement des ménages dans le G7 et le deuxième pire taux de chômage dans le G7. Après 1 an et demi de M. Carney, notre économie a été le seul pays de G7 qui a contracté et sur 38 pays suivis par l'OCDE, l'économie de M. Carney est le deuxième pire. Les jeunes n'ont plus les moyens de payer, d'acheter une maison. J'ai parlé hier avec 4 jeunes étudiants qui disaient qu'ils savent jamais, ils n'ont aucune idée quand ils vont pouvoir acheter une maison. M. Carney a promis de doubler le nombre de maisons construites hier. Sa propre agence immobilière a indiqué que la construction pour cette année, pour les mois de cette année, sont 4% plus bas que l'année précédente. L'immigration reste hors de contrôle et dépasse notre capacité d'accueil, de l'emploi, de logement et de santé. Les conservateurs présentent des solutions claires à ces promesses. On se bat pour empêcher l'hausse de la taxe sur l'essence. En fait, nous, les conservateurs, nous réclamons que M. Carney annule l'hausse dans la taxe sur l'essence et le diesel prévue pour le mois de septembre et nous revendiquons l'élimination de toutes les taxes de l'essence jusqu'à la fête du Canada le 1er juillet l'année prochaine. Comme ça, on va économiser 1 000 $ pour chaque famille canadienne. Ça va aider nos petites entreprises et nos secteurs manufacturiers de livrer leurs marchandises. Il faut accélérer l'approbation de 500 projets économiques qui attendent l'approbation fédérale à ce moment. Il faut éliminer la taxe carbone industrielle il faut réduire le coût de l'État en coupant la bureaucratie, les consultants, l'aide à l'étranger, les bonbons pour les faux réfugiés, le BS corporatif, tout ça pour réduire les taxes, l'inflation et les dettes. Les conservateurs aussi veulent voir une entente avec les États-Unis. On était content d'apprendre qu'il y aura une suspension de 3 jours pour les tarifs américains prévus. On attend avec l'impatience la conclusion de ce nouvel accord qui devrait mettre fin aux tarifs imposés au Canada. Même si on est déçu de voir le premier ministre faire autant de concessions sans recevoir rien au retour, et même si on n'est pas d'accord avec son cadeau au président Trump de 50% du péage pour un pont Gordie Howe que nous avons fait toutes les dépenses pour créer, nous sommes ici pour travailler avec lui, avec tous les partis. Nous faisons partie de l'équipe Canada. On veut un bon deal, on veut le deal que M. Carney a promis. Il a dit qu'il allait avoir un meilleur deal avec le président Trump qu'on avait auparavant. Selon moi, ça devrait, si on est réaliste, qu'on ne prend aucun tarif américain sur nos produits, ce serait un bon deal. Et nous avons proposé des idées pour le faire. Nous devions bâtir notre levier à la table de négociation en promettant de créer une réserve de ressources et de minéraux stratégiques ici au Canada disponibles et créés pour les pays qui nous offrent accès à leur marché sans tarif. On a besoin aussi d'avoir ce levier en même temps que nous utilisons nos dépenses massives militaires pour inciter les Américains d'ouvrir leurs frontières sans tarif à nos produits. Notre mission, les conservateurs, c'est de ramener le Canada plus fort chez nous pour avoir un levier plus grand ailleurs. C'est en débloquant nos ressources naturelles, avec des permis rapides pour approuver des 500 projets qui attendent une approbation fédérale. C'est des projets d'hydroélectricité, de pétrole, des minéraux, et j'en passe. Il faut débloquer le logement chez nous pour pouvoir construire davantage une industrie qui n'est pas touchée ni contrôlée par des tarifs étrangers. Et il faut avoir un programme d'un projet, une revue, pour accélérer l'approbation des nouveaux projets dans moins d'1 an. On a fait ça avec M. Harper, on peut le faire encore. On peut utiliser ce levier pour obtenir les résultats dont on a besoin. Les conservateurs continuent de se battre contre les tarifs parce que nous croyons que nos travailleurs devraient pouvoir vendre leur aluminium, l'acier, les autos, le bois d'œuvre sans tarif comme on avait auparavant. M. Carney dit a promis qu'il allait avoir un meilleur deal qu'on avait avant. Évidemment, on n'a pas de tarif avant. Donc, c'est ça le but qu'on devrait poursuivre. Et nous sommes ici. Notre message pour M. Carney, c'est de travailler avec nous pour obtenir ces résultats. Nous sommes ici pour un Canada abordable chez nous, sécuritaire chez nous, maître chez nous, un pays autonome, souverain, qui se tient debout par lui-même. Thank you very much, and thank you to my incredible Atlantic Caucus team. Now in English, it is amazing, invigorating to be here in Prince Edward Island to take in the legendary maritime hospitality. Our Atlantic Caucus has been meeting with fishermen, small businesses, workers, and others. I've been doing the same. We talked with people across the island. We asked them what we should be doing for them, and they said, restore the promise. Very simple deal. If you work hard, you should be able to buy a nice house, live on a safe street, pay off your mortgage quickly, retire in peace, afford your groceries, and never have to worry about crime. Our mission as Conservatives, therefore, is a country with stronger take-home pay, safer streets, secure borders within a self-reliant nation. And we need that positive vision now more than ever. Because after a decade of Liberals doubling housing costs, doubling food bank lineups, doubling the debt, Islanders cannot afford to eat, heat, or house themselves. Mark Carney promised he would reverse everything he had said and everything his party had done in the preceding decade, but it was all an illusion. It has been more cost, more crime, more corruption, more of the same. He's doubled Trudeau's deficit, replaced the old carbon tax with a new one, given Canada the only recession in the G7, the worst food inflation in the G7, the highest household debt in the G7, the second highest unemployment in the G7. In fact, under Mr. Carney, ours was the only economy in the G7 to shrink in the first year he was in office. Out of 38 countries the OECD tracks, Mark Carney's economy was the second worst when it came to growth in his first full year in office. The result is that young people cannot afford homes. I was speaking to a number of maritime youth just yesterday who said they cannot afford a home and they don't know when they will ever afford a home. Mr. Carney promised that he would double home building. Yesterday, his own housing agency said that this calendar year, home building has been down 4% compared to the previous year. Insolvency rates are at their worst level since the Great Global Recession, as families are defaulting on payments. Meanwhile, he bails out his condo developer buddies. The Liberal Club gets carve-outs, bailouts, and handouts, while the working class in Canada gets taxes, red tape, and high prices. Crime continues to rage on our once tranquil streets. Rural communities where people didn't even need to lock the door are now worried about danger in their streets, all while the government wastes billions going after law-abiding firearms owner. Immigration remains out of control, overwhelming jobs, housing, and health care. Meanwhile, Conservatives are the only party with real plans to fix these problems. To start with, we're fighting to stop the Liberal Labor Day gas tax increase. Our message to Mr. Carney is do not raise gas taxes next month. Canadians can't afford it. We need to get rid of all gas taxes until Canada Day 2027 to save every family $1,000 over that time. Doing so would boost our economy, allowing small businesses to move goods faster and more affordably. It would allow our factories, already besieged by a weak economy, to move their goods, their products, and their inputs more affordably. We also propose to get rid of all carbon taxes, including on all industry, aluminum, concrete, cement, fertilizer, oil, gas, steel, and much more. Instead of making grand signing ceremonies, we want the Prime Minister to get out of the way and let the 500 projects that his federal government is holding up to get permits so that private investors, workers, and builders can get building. Now, Conservatives were relieved that there is now a 3-day delay on U.S. tariffs, and we're looking forward to seeing the new and excellent deal that is being finalized. One we expect and we believe should include an end to tariffs on Canadians. While we disagree with the Prime Minister making so many concessions, with his giving the Americans 50% of the tariffs on a bridge that Canadian taxpayers paid 100% of the cost to build, we still stand by ready to help. We renew the offer we've been making for over a year that we are here to work with all parties, including the government, to fight for a win for Canada. And we hope that over the next couple of days we'll hear the good news that Mr. Carney will have kept his promise and the Canadians will get a even better deal than we had before. That's what he promised, an even better deal than we had before. To me, that should mean no tariffs on steel, aluminum, autos, lumber, and an exemption to Buy America. And Conservatives have laid out clear plans to achieve that. By unblocking our resources and unleashing our economy, we can become affordable and autonomous and build the leverage we need to get a deal with the United States. We should present the Americans with the prospect of a Canadian-made, a Canadian-located strategic mineral and oil reserve available and tailor-made for our tariff-free allies. We have 10 of the 12 NATO-defined strategic minerals needed to fight a war. We have the 4th biggest supply of oil. The Americans need all of those things. Our message should be that we will tailor-make a reserve of all of those resources, and we will make it especially available to those countries that give us tariff-free trade. We should move quickly, though, to unlock the production of these resources by canceling anti-energy laws, by C-69, C-48, truly getting rid of the EV mandates for real, not just calling them a tailpipe emission standard, not renaming them, but getting rid of it. We should also sign on with the Americans to an auto pack, tariff-free auto pack, requiring automakers produce one automobile in Canada for every one they sell here, something that would be both attractive to Canadians and the United States. We should go to 6-month approval times for major projects, with one project having one review. We should bundle all of this up in a Canadian Sovereignty Act, and we should use the aforementioned leverage to get the deal that we want. We always have to put our country first, and Conservatives are fighting for Canada. We are here for Canada. We want our country to be affordable at home, safe at home, and strong at home, a nation that is self-reliant, sovereign, and stands on its own 2 feet. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll now take questions from reporters. Please identify yourself and your outlet. 1 question each, please.
Kerry Campbell, CBC. Would you support changes to supply-managed dairy to try to strike a deal with the Trump administration?
Well, what we do not believe that there should be unilateral concessions to the United States of America, getting nothing in return. We believe that the United States spends tens, if not hundreds, of billions of dollars in subsidies to its farmers, which put our producers at a competitive disadvantage. And we believe in standing up for our farmers on this side of the border, including supply-managed farmers. We believe that they produce an excellent product, and we don't accept the view that that our farmers are at are getting unfair advantages over the United States. If you look south of the border, they're the ones that are doing massive subsidies that create enormous one-sided advantages in their favor. So we think it's time for our Prime Minister to start fighting for our farmers and putting our own producers first.
Oh, you got it. Okay. 1 second. I'm just going to pull up my question.
Hi, Vivian from The Guardian. Earlier you said that you were hoping for a better deal from the trade negotiations. What would that look like for you?
Well, let me just frame why I said a better deal. Mr. Carney made that promise. He said, and I quote, that we will have a better deal than we had before. Well, before we had basically no tariffs on goods coming from Canada to the United States. So a better deal would at least have to start with that. We need zero tariffs on aluminum, steel, autos, lumber, and a full exemption to Buy America. Now, that's, in fairness, a lot of the things I just described are things that were agreed to by President Trump in the previous CUSMA agreement and or achieved by earlier conservative governments like Prime Minister Harper. So Mr. Carney has set that bar for himself. We want him to keep his promise and get an even better deal for Canada than we had before, and Conservatives are willing to do anything we can to help him keep that promise.
Maria Sarusi, TV News. Has the Prime Minister briefed you at all during these negotiations since the threat of Section 338 tariffs?
No. No, in fact, we're here, and I reiterate my offer. Conservatives have offered to help the Prime Minister since the very beginning. I've done it numerous times in our phone calls. When I went to the United States of America, I very clearly refused to criticize him on foreign soil. I briefed him on my visit and my meetings with governors and other American leaders. But our MPs have reached out again and again to the government to offer any help we can. Richard Bragdon here is the chair of the Canada-U.S. Parliamentary Friendship Group. He's been continually offering his help, but Mr. Carney has refused to have any help from anybody. But we still want to make sure that he keeps his word and gets the great deal, the even better deal that he promised Canadians.
Raphaël Caron, Radio-Canada. Le président Trump dit qu'il y a une entente. Est-ce que vous faites confiance au président Trump?
Tout d'abord, il faut reconnaître que la seule raison que 85% de nos produits entrent aux États-Unis sans tariff, c'est à cause d'une entente. Donc, avoir une entente, c'est mieux que de ne pas l'être, de ne pas en avoir une. Deuxième chose, ce que je propose, c'est de bâtir de leviers qui durent longtemps. Par exemple, si on a une réserve des minéraux et de l'énergie disponible aux alliés qui nous offrent accès à leur marché libre de tarifs, ça va inciter les Américains dans leurs propres intérêts de ne pas réimposer les tarifs. Si nous signons des contrats d'achat militaire basés sur l'engagement des Américains de ne pas réinstaurer les tarifs, ça va donner une incitation à eux autres de garder les tarifs, de ne pas réinstaurer les tarifs. Donc, je propose de créer un levier, pas juste pour aujourd'hui, mais qui va s'appliquer aux Américains dans leurs intérêts et non pas les autres. Si je peux me permettre de répondre en anglais. The question was, can we trust the president to honor any deal? Well, first of all, the only thing that's protecting us from tariffs on a large part of our economy is the fact that we do have the original deal negotiated by Brian Mulroney. If we didn't have that, we would be paying much higher tariffs today. So we're better off with a deal than without a deal, and that's why we encourage the Prime Minister to keep his promise to get a better deal than we had before. But what I also propose is putting forward strong long-term leverage. You promise that over the next 5 years we will fill up a massive strategic energy and mineral reserve that will be available to tariff-free allies in the event that they need them. They will have a long-term interest in honoring their tariff-free commitments, knowing that that is a condition of getting what they want from us. Same with military purchases. We should sign into that, that we will make large-scale military purchases with our American friends, but that the purchases of American-made goods are contingent on continued tariff-free access. That would again give the United States a continuing incentive to honor the tariff-free commitments they make in any forthcoming deal.
We have time for one final question.
I just want. Oh, well, go ahead. Go, sorry.
The dairy question, repeated in French, right?
OK. Merci beaucoup. Nous ne proposons pas de faire d'autres concessions. M. Carney a fait une concession après l'autre sans rien obtenir et on n'a rien gagné. J'observe aussi que les conservateurs, excusez-moi, que les Américains font énormément de subventions à leur secteur agricole, ce qui est un désavantage pour nous et pour nos fermiers. Donc, dire que les Américains sont désavantagés de façon injuste n'est pas vrai. Moi, je crois qu'on devrait défendre nos fermiers, y compris nos fermiers qui fonctionnent dans la gestion de l'offre, et que nous devrions défendre notre secteur pour pouvoir produire davantage de nourriture abordable et de nous rendre plus autosuffisants.
Thank you. This concludes today's press conference.
All right. Thanks very much, everyone. Great. All right. We've got a local question for...
Yeah, thanks. Sorry. Kerry Campbell, CBC. As you probably know, there hasn't been a Conservative MP elected on PEI. Well, just the one, Gail Shea, elected twice.
The great Gail Shea.
The great Gail Shea, elected twice. But other than that, no other Conservative MPs on PEI since the 1980s. You had 3 former PC cabinet ministers running on your ticket last time around, and it still wasn't enough. What are you doing to reach out? What are you doing to maybe adapt your messaging or just try to make Islanders more supportive of your party?
I think it's affordability, affordability, affordability. Everywhere I go on the island, people say it is just too expensive here after a decade of Liberals. What have the Liberals have given the island? They've given you $1.80 a litre gas, unaffordable groceries, and now housing costs are absolutely out of control. And that, in the entire history of Prince Edward Island, that has never been the case. Young people in this province have always been able to afford homes, and now it's absolutely impossible. So our mission is to make Prince Edward Island an affordable place to raise a family, buy a house, pay off a mortgage, buy groceries, have meat and potatoes or lobster on the dinner table every single night. And we are going to bring in the policies of low taxes, low inflation, and unblock the resources of this incredible place so that that exciting, affordable future can happen. Les trois priorités, c'est l'abordabilité, l'abordabilité, l'abordabilité. On va réduire le coût de la vie pour les gens ici. Les gens me disent que c'est trop cher ici. Pour la première fois, les jeunes de l'île ne peuvent plus acheter une maison. Le coût de nourriture est hors de contrôle et c'est 1,80 $ le litre, encore pire, dépendant la journée. Ça coûte trop cher après 11 ans des libéraux. Seuls les conservateurs vont couper les coûts, vont réduire le coût de l'État pour réduire les taxes, l'inflation et les dettes. On va éliminer les taxes sur l'essence. On va réduire le coût de traverser le pont, tout en travaillant pour rendre la vie ici sur l'île abordable pour tout le monde. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
All right.
This concludes
Thanks very
today's press
much, everyone.
conference.
Thanks, guys.